What is up, beautiful people? It's Wolf Brother Meathos. What is up, beautiful people? It's Wolf Brother Meathos. What is up, beautiful people? It's Wolf Brother Meathos. What is up, beautiful people? Okay, let's try that again. What is up, beautiful people? It's Wolf Brother Meathos from the channel Frost and Fists, and welcome to this video. Tonight, of course, it's a live chit. It's a live chat, and after a somewhat of an absence, of course, it's kind of just a life and hobby update. You know, what have I been doing? Where have I been? And yeah, what kind of hobby I've had on the go. How is everyone tonight? We've got Go For It Painting. Good to see you, my friend. We've got Hellworks, who I've been trying to catch up with all week, but this week just keeps getting away from me. A chit and a chat. That's correct, my friend. I hope you guys have all been doing well. It has been a few weeks for me. And when I say a few weeks, I mean like it's really been a few weeks. I mean, it's only been 3 weeks since I've been on the show, but like time-wise, that's almost a month. But man, there's just been so much packed into those 3 weeks. So I guess I'll start off with a little bit of that, a little bit of what the past 3 weeks have been, and of course we'll go over some hobby goodness, and what I've done hobby-wise the last few weeks. In fact, I'm going to start with a little bit of what I've done. Hey, good night, my brother. Good to see you, Richard Smith. Rest well, my friend, and thank you so much for dropping by. So yeah, we'll start with a little bit of hobby goodness, because of course this is a hobby show, and you know, we'll talk a little bit about the other stuff and sprinkle it in as we go. First thing, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I am missing a 10/cat chance. Ah, there he is. My flamethrower guy. Alright, so first thing I did. Hey, just stopping by to say hi. Our daughter took us to a hockey game, and we'll rewatch later. Hey, you guys have a great time at the hockey game. And thank you so much for making the time to drop in. Appreciate you guys. And I hope you guys have a great time with your daughter. And yeah, I do enjoy hockey. I used to play a little bit when I was a teenager, which is longer ago than I care to admit. But yeah, before I tore the old ACL, of course, in North Carolina, we very seldom had ice. So we mostly played in gymnasiums with rollerblades. And I always tell the story of how I bought just a brand new pair of like $120 skates or rollerblades, like maybe 3-4 days before I tore my ACL. It's crazy. Love watching the grandkids have fun. Good, getting them into hockey early. That's awesome. Oh, I forgot to mention my illustrious co-host Jingle tonight, napping on the back of the chair here. He was trying to climb up in my lap just before the show, and I was trying to get the description and, you know, share around the, before I took an arrow to the knee. Basically, it was the ACL, to the very back ligament of the knee. No, I don't think I shared in the Facebook. Or not, no, I shared to Facebook. I don't know if I shared in Discord. You have fun. You and Greg and the grandbabies. Don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you so much, Go For It Painting. Alright, so the first thing, and man, I did not prepare for this by taking a group photo. I don't know why I didn't take a group photo. But I have lots of stuff to show you guys tonight. But the last several times that I have done the show, I was showing off several stages of, getting closer and closer to being done with my first squad of 10 Catachan / Tanith fighters. I say Catachan / Tanith because they are 3D printed. They're equipped to do the same job WYSIWYG as Catachan, but they're done in the style of the Tanith from the Gaunt's Ghost book series. So they've all got, like, the cloaks on and all dressed down into more of a sniper kind of style than armored. Not sniper, it's more scout style, than armored. We're knocking the minis down, it's fine. Alright, we'll take a quick rush pick. Telemachus, good to see you, my friend. Because I have been telling you guys for several shows that, hey, these Catachan are almost done. And it's finally good to finally be able to say that, hey, after it just took 3 weeks of being away from the show, but they are done. That's going to be a potato photo, but at least it'll be enough to show you guys. Figure I might as well take a moment to show you guys if Yes. Are we coming down now? Okay, is it chest time? Alright, well, this is going to make the show infinitely more difficult to do. I'm sorry if I'm inconveniencing you. I tell you. This boy is spoiled. I don't know how he got this way. Alright, pulling up the pictures now, because I have several things to show you I've been working on. And I'll just hit this. Perfect. Did exactly what I wanted to do. Kitty, yes. I was on a few weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, I was on the Gamers with Coffee Sunday Gamer Therapy show. And this little guy stayed in my lap in the entire show, like 3 hours long. He just did not want to move. Wanted to hang out with his daddy. Okay, so here is my potato pick of my 10 Catachan / Tanith fighters. And you can kind of see, a little bit on the guy on the far left, but I've muddied up their cloaks, in case they've had to, crouch down in the swamp that they're in and go skulking through the swamp. Those cloaks have kind of dragged up some of that mud. And also, on part of, what they do in the Tanith is that when they first land on a new planet, the first thing they do is scoop up a handful of dirt and rub it into their cloaks to make it easier for them to kind of stealth in their natural environment. So I thought that was pretty cool. So of course I had to go and get their cloaks a bit muddy. And all of them, you are making this difficult. You can kind of see here. I'll switch back. I will drop a Tanith. All right, you are making this difficult. Okay, that one was on me. This is going swimmingly. All right, so you can kind of see here, I've put this kind of mud effect all over the backs of their cloaks and on the front and the inside of their cloaks, but I really wanted to give the impression that as they're working their way through the swamp, the bottoms of their cloaks kind of catching the dirty swamp water. All right, so the TANF, that is the first thing I did. And to go while I was working with the TANF, I realized I only had one of my medics painted up for my Krieg. And so I painted a second one, which I do not currently have pictures of. But, yeah. So, this, of course, is a little bit of a cheesecake. You know, medic. I got her painted up for my Krieg. So now both of my giant 20-man Krieg blobs have their medics ready to go. Are you not on the desk? I know you're interested in the coffee, but not on the desk. Thank you. All right. I know we are off to a very unorganized start. I apologize. You guys will permit me 1 second to look for those minis I dropped. Trying to operate one-handed. Okay, there is one of them. I do not see the other one, which is concerning. All right, I've got a whole soldier. Well, I will have to do a more dedicated look after the show and hope I don't forget. All right, sorry about that. I'm like legit concerned now. All right, so other things. So that's just one hobby thing I've done. We'll talk a little bit of where I've been, and then we'll get back to the miniature stuff. I had been on the road for 2 weeks. California, and hey, 6+ Stevo, good to see you, my friend. We got one of the war bosses. Yes, I am much better now. After being on the road 2 weeks, California and then New York, I literally got back on a Monday, and then the very next day, a Tuesday, I went into the hospital for pancreatitis. And I tried to hold out and keep, because going to the hospital is very expensive. And even though I was in a lot of pain, sometimes, a couple of times before, I've had these similar feelings, but they've passed within an hour or two, and I've been okay. I just fast for a few hours, and I'm okay to go. However, I was really trying to tough it out because, again, I didn't want to spend the money. We're talking like putting myself about $17,000 in debt the past couple times this happened. However, hour 12 rolled around, so my pain started about 9 in the morning, and about 9 in the evening, I was like, I tapped out. I'm like, this is too much. I need to go to the hospital. If you've never gone to an emergency room, that's a whole to-do. It's you don't go in and just get treated right away. It's usually like a several hours of waiting room, and then, they'll see you whenever they can get to you. But it was worth it because it turned out to be a serious event. Not so severe that they had to operate. There was no leakage from my pancreas, no necrotizing of the surrounding tissue. But it was pretty swollen, pretty bad. And crazily, so the last time I went in for pancreatitis, it was because of cholesterol, triglycerides, that kind of thing, and so I needed to clean up my eating. And like I mentioned, I'd been on the road for 2 weeks before going into the hospital. And I admit sometimes when I'm on the road, traveling, working, living out of a suitcase for work, sometimes I don't make always make the smartest eating decisions. And I remember just that weekend, I was like, oh man, I had stuff like KFC for lunch, and I had French fries, and I had all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, oh man, my eating habits is what put me in the hospital here. But it turns out this time, what triggered my pancreatitis was a very weird, intolerance to potassium. My body had way too much potassium it was storing up because my body was not using potassium. And eventually, I can't remember. I think it said I had 300% too much something potassium stored up in my body that wasn't going anywhere, which was weird. And so anyways, that triggered the pancreatitis, put me in the hospital. And the whole thing is they make you fast for 72 hours while they hook you up to meds and IV and all that kind of stuff. And so it was a lot of pain. Like, I'm talking about serious, like squeezing. I have been injured in so many ways, broken bones, torn ACL. The worst pain I've ever felt is organ pain. It's like there's nothing you can do for organ pain. It's just inside and it hurts, But they hooked me up on good meds. I was on morphine, and for a little bit they had me on one stronger than morphine. I can't remember the name of it, but it was good. The pain went away. I've discovered I don't like morphine, even though a lot of people are like addicted to it, because like it makes the pain go away, which I very much appreciated. But then for some reason it makes other parts of me tense. So like my shoulders, neck, and head were just like constantly like really tight feeling, and like I had the worst headaches, borderline migraines, because that were like tension headaches, because like just everything from my shoulders up through my neck to the tops of my head was just so tight. And they mentioned that was a common side effect for morphine, that it gives some people really strong headaches. And so it turned into, do I want the abdominal pain or do I want the headache, but like I said, they took good care of me. And so I was there for about a week. I went in on Tuesday and got out Friday night, close to Saturday, and everything was all good after that. Of course, been really sore all week. Any kind of anything kind of movement you do kind of squeezes on your abdomen, and so just like bending, twisting, any kind of moving around would like make me sore, and I'd have to take it easy, move slowly. Morphine is nasty, but when you need it, it's the only thing that'll do. Absolutely. It also makes you mad constipated. True that. Which in the hospital can sometimes be a blessing, because when you're sharing a hospital room with someone else, and it's hard for you to get unhooked from like all the IV and all the electrodes on you and stuff like that, make it hard to go to the restroom. So you're almost glad that you don't have to go. But yeah, morphine is, like you said, when you need it, it's good. But yeah, I couldn't imagine being a person who's just stuck on it all the time, just because the side effects do not make me feel good. But yeah, that was my experience, guys. Definitely, big loves to my lovely lady, because Lily was there every day. She brought the kids some days, but yeah, she just made sure to come spend time with me every day until I was okay and I was getting out. And which was double driving duty for her, because she still was keeping up with all her normal stuff, getting the kids ready for school, picking them up, dropping them off, taking them to their other activities, taking my oldest daughter to work. But she was definitely a trooper about it. I kept trying to tell her she didn't have to come visit me, she could just relax, but she told me I was being silly. But yeah, so that is so working the weekend 2 weeks is why I missed 2 shows, and then the third show was because of the hospital, but I'm all good now. Yeah, yes, she is an absolute queen, and she's so good to me. You are correct, my friend. Got to make a lot of changes in my diet, of course. Because of the pancreatitis, I can't process sugars and starches very well at the moment. So they've got me on a keto diet. But then I also can't have potassium, and that eliminates almost all of the vegetables and fruits out there. So it's just like, it's been a big adjustment, to the diet and the lifestyle the last week. But it's better than the alternative for sure. And so I'm definitely keeping it clean now, because I don't want to go through that anytime soon. So the last time I went in, I was eating healthy for a while. I dropped a bunch of weight. And then, you get kind of complacent over the years, and I dropped back down. But, yeah, no more bananas. It's funny, because bananas is the main thing, I think. Okay, no more bananas. It's all good. But, I mean, they gave me the list of things I can and can't have. It's almost shorter to give me the list of what can I have. So these are the avoid completely: apricots, avocados, bananas, cantaloupes, dried fruits, grapefruit, honeydew melon, kiwis, mangoes, nectarines, oranges, pomegranates, prunes, raisins, artichokes, beets, broccolis, Brussels sprouts, carrots, potatoes, pumpkins, spinach, tomatoes, squash, vegetable juices, any kind of bran or wheat bran, beans, lentils, milks, nuts, whole wheat pasta, whole wheat bread, chocolate, and salt substitutes. And then limit exposure to apples, berries, cherries, cranberries, grapes, peaches, pineapples, plums, cabbage, cauliflower, celery, cucumbers, eggplant, green beans, lettuce, onions, peppers, zucchini, white bread, coffee. They want me to limit coffee to 1 8-ounce cup. So I have dialed back from like 5 to 6 to 2 a day at the moment. That's the most I can do. There's no way I'm getting down to 1 cup. Noodles, white rice, pasta, and tea. Well, welcome back, Catbutt. So yeah, it is a huge list of things that I can't have. So bread and water. Nope, can't have bread. I can have meat and water. So it's a good thing that, keto and this potassium list, at least leave most of the carnivore diet open, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to eat much. I was really surprised how many things are, heavy in potassium. Even my daily vitamins I had to stop taking, because I looked and I was like, this is, even though I can't, there's very few things I can eat. I wanted to, at least get some vitamins in, but like even my multivitamin I can't take anymore. So you're a carnivore now. Currently, yes. Just because my food options are just so limited at the moment. Which I had been kind of in that, post-hospital, like, oh man, I can't have this anymore, I can't have that anymore. But Lily's done a really good job of trying to keep me on the mindset of think about the things I can have instead of the things I can't have, which was really cool. So like my mom came to see me after I got out of the hospital, and because my food options are so limited, she brought me four of the biggest ribeyes from Texas Roadhouse, which I was able to eat on for days. And she was like, see, you can have all the steak you want. And these Texas Roadhouse steaks were like, they were good steaks. They were like really nice quality steaks, and all cooked, medium rare, just the way I like them. So it was real nice. And then for Labor Day, yeah, I think Labor Day was this past Monday. We went over to my in-laws, and my brother-in-law also just made up a ton of massive steaks. And he's like, yeah, well, the only thing you can eat is steak. Here, you can get you a couple of them. I'm like, wow, it's so nice of you guys. So, steaks is one of my favorite foods, and, well, now of the things I can have, I mean, it's like my most favorite food at the moment. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's there's limitations, you know. I can only have black tea, black coffee now, as far as what I can drink, and of course water. So there's a lot of like adjustments, but I'm trying to be positive, trying to focus on what I can have, and you know, the things I can have are going to be the things that, you know, are going to allow me to be around for the family, you know, that much longer. So, and also I don't have to go through that pain at the hospital, because that was some crazy pain. So yeah, like I said, interesting journey. So, medical news aside, talking a little more hobby, because I had been doing some painting on the road these last couple weeks, and you know, painting in like hotel rooms and stuff like that, and also though painting, you know, in this past week while I've been recovering at home. I haven't been doing as much work, and I'm not traveling at the moment, so let me show you guys some other things that I managed to get done. Alright, so I've shown you my Tanith / Catachan here. This is the first, my brother, like the day after I got out of the hospital, my brother Roxas, we are splitting a Kickstarter box for the, I keep wanting to say Mech Warrior, but Mech Warrior is the video game, Battletech miniature game. And so since I got the miniatures from my brother Roxas, I decided to, paint up my test scheme, start with one that wasn't even in those boxes, starting with, this one was sent to me by Gamers with Coffee, Ashley and Greg. And I want to say the miniature was provided by their friend on the show, D. This from one of those not Mech Warrior, Battletech blind boxes, and this one was the Ice Ferret miniature from that series. And I wanted to paint it up. I've been, one of my favorite painting channels to watch is called Heresy for Heretics. And the channel basically does everything in synthwave. It's a very eye-catching color scheme that they do, or color schemes. He has a bunch of them, but in general, his synthwave, all of his synthwave stuff are very eye-catching. And as a child of the 80s, I just love anything colored in synthwave. And so I tried to follow along somewhat closely. I didn't have the exact paints he did, but I kind of was following along some of the idea that so this was a project inspired by Heresy for Heretics. So basically, I primed the whole thing black, did a little bit of zenithal, so a light dusting of white with some white ink on it, and then I, from 90 degrees upward, leaving just like the zenithal kind of gray, you know, like the gray-white on top. I left that unpainted, but from about 90 degrees towards the top here, I did a spray of pro-acryl blue, and then from above I shot down golden fluorescent, Golden is the brand, and their fluorescent magenta, no, fluorescent pink. Shot that from above, and so there's actually no purple anywhere on this model, but the way it's filtered like this, it absolutely resulted in a beautiful transition of pinks to purples to blues in the recesses. I mean, it honestly, it does look like it's glowing. And then I think he used like a Vallejo sea green or something like that, so I ended up using Pro Acryl's Jade, and then highlighting it up with Pro Acryl Turquoise. And so yeah, and then the yellow lenses are just white paint and Imperial Fist yellow, which I think I will replace with like a bright silver than Imperial Fist yellow. But yeah, that is how I did my synthwave Battletech, and I think I'm going to do that for my whole Battletech army. Interesting isn't the word I'd use. Oh, is that for the interesting 2 weeks that I've had? So, Battletech. Expect to see some more Battletech on the channel. And, again, big thank you to Gamers with Coffee for the test model I was able to paint up. Next, I think I've shown most of you before, but I was painting up Ahsoka for my Star Wars Shatterpoint army. And when I came back from a trip, and I'm not going to blame anyone, Jingle, but some people like to get up on the desk that they know that they're not supposed to be up on. And I came back from one of my trips. Like I said, I've been in and out of town for the last couple of weeks. And Ahsoka, both of her lightsabers were snapped at the hands. Now, I know technically, you know, lightsabers don't have to be turned on. Loving the color scheme. It's super late here, so I gotta go sleep. Yes, I know it's incredibly late over there. Thank you so much for stopping by, Steve. Rest well, my friend. And thank you so much for checking in on me feeling better, my brother. Also, guys, 6 Plus Stevo is one of the war bosses. So check him out over at 6 Plus Stevo, his channel. But also check him out on the 40K War Bosses. The kittens are Sith. Yes, yes they are. So because I was going to try and wait, there it is. I found it. So technically the lightsabers don't have to be on and powered. So I might go back and finish painting her sometime later. But I was about halfway through painting her, and yeah, her lightsaber snapped, and I was just like, I don't want to use her without her lightsabers. And I was looking how much it would cost me to replace her model, and that's going to be like an easy, looking on eBay, easy $35 to $45, depending on the seller. And so, of course, you know, I love using my printer here, and so I went and found a really badass print of Ahsoka. And we'll switch now. And so I've printed and painted up one, and this is more like her outfit from her show or The Mandalorian, you know, her modern outfit, whereas her Shatterpoint, her outfit from Shatterpoint is more from like the end of Clone Wars. Obviously this one is, you know, more her as an adult in her own series and in the Mandalorian series. But I'm really loving how it came out. Now, I know she uses white lightsabers, but the white lightsabers were just looking a little plain. And so what I did was I just used the airbrush to give just a hint of a blend towards the hilts to show, like, you know, just to show an energy transition. I gotta say, I was really worried about the head tendrils, or the laku, on her head, and doing the striping on them and stuff like that. But thankfully, once I got, like, I had been putting off doing her laku for like, first on the model that broke, I'd been putting that off for weeks, and then once I finally started her, I really put off her, you know, I painted up everything else but her eyes and her laku for a while, and eventually I just kind of like bit the bullet. And once I started doing it, it wasn't as tedious and uncomfortable as I was expecting, and I didn't horribly mess anything up. There was a couple places where I had to go back and neaten back up, you know, with the gray-white color. But overall, it wasn't too bad. It was one of those things where I was dreading it a lot, but once I got into it, you know, it was okay. I'm not saying I've done the best freehand here, but it doesn't look terrible, and I'm happy with that. So that is my Ahsoka. Really pleased with the way she came out. Oh, so like from her show, like most of this, like if you go to the Mandalorian, most of this outfit is like dark grays. And if you go to her own show, like the newer version of this outfit, it's just like a lot of black with different textures. You know, like satiny blacks and, you know, some other ones. And so I wasn't sure what I wanted to do here. And so what I ended up doing was like I just highlighted them differently. So like the pants here I kind of highlighted with Incubi Darkness, and then from Incubi Darkness I mixed in half and half Incubi Darkness and a blue gray, Fenrisian gray. No, Fenrisian's the lighter one. Rust gray. You know, the mid-tone of the blue gray, rust gray, and some of that Incubi Darkness. And so, you know, I had kind of a, you know, like black highlighting up to, you know, a grayish green, grayish blue. And yeah, like I'm happy with that. I was able to, you know, draw out the textures of the pants and stuff like that. And by highlighting up a different color, whereas you can see here, the black vest, you know, is mostly stark black with just some very sharp edges of highlighting of gray. But then I went with more of the gray green, gray blue for the pants. It just gives them kind of a different texture look. So, anyways, I'm real pleased with the way my Ahsoka came out. Now, here is a really blurry picture of her backside. I don't know why I took a picture of that. And I had painted up the Mandalorians. You painted the tattoos. So proud. Yes. I didn't realize those were tattoos on her Laku. I thought that was just natural. But I'll take it. And nope, that is the blurry picture. Don't need that. That is slightly less blurry. So I'd previously painted up the Mandalorians. There's Bo-Katan and the Clan Kryze Mandalorians, and she is the leader of that squad. So Ahsoka was the last bit I needed to finish off to paint, to have a fully painted squad. So squad 1 down. Makes me feel good. Now that I've painted up Ahsoka, for some reason, I guess because I've been watching Clone Wars lately, having finished painting up Ahsoka, the very next thing I wanted to do was to paint up her master. And that would be Jedi Knight Anakin. He is another one that I decided to kind of change up. So, like here, black boots, brown, red, light brown pants, a check. That's semi-normal. However, in all the artwork, for some reason, the shirt here is also, it's like a really red-brown, which I didn't like the look of. But in the movies, it's like black with the black vest. And of course, black with the black vest just doesn't show up very well. It all looks a little too dark, which, I don't know, I might go back and redo it, for a little more accuracy. I might make it black shirt or black vest. But for my own personal twist, I went ahead and made it gray shirt, black vest, just so that way they stand out a little. The grays and the brown kind of clash a little bit, though, so I might just make it black and brown. Hey, Roxy, good to see you, my friend. Heyo. So, yeah. But that is what I've done so far. And actually, the more I look at it, the more I want to go back and make it black and black. Because I feel like that gray and that brown are clashing a little bit. But either way, I'm really pleased with the way Anakin's dirty blonde came out. Still looks good. Thank you. Oh, and we're back to the 10. All right, so that is everything I've managed to get finished in the last couple weeks. Well, thank you very much, Roxy. It doesn't look painted with the brick. That's us here in my book. Okay, you're sliding down too much. If you're going to stay, I need you. Yes, I love you too. All right. So that is most of what I've done. I have also started painting up just today and a little bit last night. I started painting up Captain Rex, which I don't know why I'm still on. Cat butt. Do you need to do this right now, Jingle? So I started painting up Captain Rex, getting him close to done. So I'll probably have him finished up this weekend. And I've started another project because once I finish up Captain Rex, then the Clone Brothers here, who are, I've only done the black and the white so far, so they look a bit like stormtroopers. But once I finish painting up these clone troopers, that'll be both of my squads for the Shatterpoint starter set Dunzos. Hey, friendly neighborhood Inquisitor, how are you, my friend? Cat's doing cat shit. Yes, that has been my show lately. Jingle just likes to drop by and take over the show. He tried to climb up in my lap right when I first started the show, but both of my hands were kept blocking my lap to do things like the thumbnail and stuff like that. So we started the show with him back there, napping away, and now he's just kind of come and gone a few times. But good to see you, friendly neighborhood Inquisitor. I'm doing well. How are you, my friend? Bulma is so chill, thank goodness. He's usually super chill, but for him, his style of being chill is he likes to nap directly on my chest when I'm at my desk, whether I'm working, hobbying, or video gaming, or doing a show, apparently. So it's just hard to get stuff done, but I appreciate that he loves me. I'm certainly existing. Can't stay long. Figured I'd stop in to say hi quick. Well, thank you so much, my brother. Guys, I've been catching up on some of the weekly updates from Friendly Neighborhood Inquisitor. Go check him out. He's been putting out a lot of good work lately, including this past one has been an update on his biker gang for the Leagues of Votann. They're looking really good. And before that is the best mini he's ever painted in the previous episode, which is a jump pack captain with the new Primaris jump pack kit. So check it out. You can find Friendly Neighborhood Inquisitor down in the link tree below of the Friends of the Frosted Fists. So I started another project. Playing all of this Shatterpoint made me interested in going back and playing one of my all-time favorite video games, definitely top 5 still to this day, Knights of the Old Republic. And in the spirit of that, I've decided, with the help of Atlas, who helped me find profiles for different characters. Nate's Miniatures, good to see you, my friend. Welcome to the show. So, Atlas helped me find stats and profiles for characters that would work legitimately in-game, but could certainly be reskinned by a Knights of the Old Republic team. And so, some of the traditional characters I've already started printing. I think this is a character from Star Wars Rebels, but it's a Twi'lek soldier that could easily even got a similar kind of forehead band as Mission, and so this will be standing in as my Mission bow. Another iconic Knights of the Old Republic character. I've printed out a Bastila. This is like my 4th attempt printing Bastila because the lightsaber kept wanting to snap on me. But I finally got one with a lightsaber that's not immediately snapping. So Bastila is your possible romance partner slash She's kind of your force, your Jedi partner in the Knights of the Old Republic game. And to go with them, I found a really, really awesome file for the main playable character, or the main playable character, or one of the main lore characters in that is Revan. Depending on where in the timeline, it could be Jedi Revan or Darth Revan, but he's got these cool battle robes with a cuirass. You don't see a whole lot of armored robes except for in like the Clone Wars, but in Knights of the Old Republic, Revan had these really cool armored robes, and it's got like an armored face shield and stuff like that, and a really cool dual wielding pose, leaping off of a rock. Also, I snapped one of the lightsabers here too, but the handle was thick enough that I was able to pin in a piece of paper clip, and boom, we can still use it. You're coming back, aren't you? Ooh, it's taking over again. How is it your cat is doing chill on the back of the chair while it's moving like this? Because he gets a lot of practice, trying to move around me when I'm here at the desk, trying to do work or hobby stuff or run a live chat. We've learned to work around each other. KOTOR 2 is still my favorite game of all time. Awesome. I'm a bigger fan of 1, but I love them both. And I lament that they never put out a KOTOR 3 and instead scrapped most of that storyline into and they just kind of took a whole, open world story that they were going to do, like with the KOTOR games, and just kind of shoved it into the MMO as DLC. That made me so mad. You could be kind of psychotic like me and replace the blades with brass rod. Honestly, I was thinking about it, except for like on Bastila I couldn't do it, and Ahsoka I couldn't do it because their lightsaber handles were thinner than my thinnest drill bit. And then with Revan, the only reason I used paperclip is because I had it on hand, and if I was going to do brass, I would have to drive to the hobby store. And so basically, one could say convenience, another could say laziness. It's kind of all true. I love the MMO SWTOR, the Jedi Knight story. Devs used to call KOTOR 3. Yeah. I totally get that. I'm pretty sure this is just me being love. And I can't remember the word that I learned on How I Met Your Mother for you can't be happy with anything. But I think I'm just bound to be unhappy with it because I was, like, for me, certain games, Fallout, Knights of the Old Republic, are about the single player story experience. And I feel like these things should not be shoved in an MMO where you have all of these distractions from the main storyline because you have 1,000 other players in the world and you're forced to participate with them and stuff like that. And MMO is just a different experience from a first-person narrative. And so, like, I get that if I wanted to feel the KOTOR 3 experience, I could, and I have played some SWTOR, and I like SWTOR for what it is, for the most part. I just don't like it as the KOTOR 3 replacement, like where KOTOR 3 went to die. Because you gotta admit, when you play through the game, between all of the multiplayer stuff, the hub of other players, the jump puzzles and stuff like that, it feels like an MMO. It doesn't feel like the first-person narrative that KOTOR games are, Anyways, that's just me being unhappy with change. And I'm glad that that storyline didn't get completely wasted. It went somewhere, but yeah, that's why I'm glad. Okay, have a great night, friendly neighborhood Inquisitor. I'm glad they did something with the KOTOR 3 story. I'm just not happy that had to be part of it. Innovation is the mother trucker of invention. Absolutely. So yeah, I've got 3 characters here. I've got Revan, Darth Revan here, or I'm sorry, this isn't Darth Revan. This is going to be light side Revan. So with the white and brown and gold robes. But yeah, this is going to be Revan. Got Bastila. I've got Mission Bow. And I also going to do Karth. And I'm going to get a Wookiee for Big Zalbar. Stop swearing, Mythos. I feel like Captain America. Language. But yeah, I'm gonna do Karth. Oh, Zalabar. Oh, so funny. So there's the rogue or scoundrel / rogue smuggler class, and the Wookiee. So you've being Mission and Zalabar, and there's already perfect stats for me to use in game, and of course it's the card for Han Solo and Chewbacca. They actually have a card for them as a duo, and I'm going to use that in Shatterpoint to cover as Mission and Zalabar. So it's perfect, like perfect synergy there, perfect the way the stats line up. I'm probably I think I need a couple of range characters, so I'm thinking I'm going to use of course I also already mentioned Karth, and I'm also going to use the everybody's favorite assassin droid HK-47, which is he's almost just fully rust colored, so that'll be just a fun quick one to paint up. Just lead belcher him up, and Null oil, and then just I could probably get away with just putting a whole bunch of the dirty down, liquid rust on them. So that would be fun. And I think I need one more Jedi, so I have to pick between the Cathar Juhani or the Gray Jedi Jolee Bindo. And I was talking back and forth with Atlas, because Jolee is more who I put in my party when I play, but as a Cathar, a Star Wars version of a cat girl, as a Cathar, Juhani would be much more identifiable on the tabletop, so I'll probably end up painting Juhani. So yeah, I've looked, and there are no painting guides for KOTOR characters, because this is an out-of-the-box idea. So, that could maybe be content. It might be something to look at. So, that is... and the other hobby, the last hobby thing I've been up to, is while I was printing these KOTOR things, I went ahead and printed out some things that I just kind of need for my Imperial Guard army. For some reason, I can't work on a project for more than a couple weeks without thinking about what does my Imperial Guard army need. And I've been using a couple of HQs that I had painted up as my Krieg Field Marshals. So I just went ahead and actually printed out a couple of proper Field Marshals, gave them the plasma gun and Power Fist combo, and I really liked that this version of the file by Station Forge had kind of like Yarick's Power Claw as the Power Fists, which I thought was super cool, especially since Yarick is no longer around. kind of like the idea of a power claw on a Imperial Guard commander. So I printed out the field marshals came in 2 different poses. One of them just had a hand behind his back, but I wanted credit for my plasma pistols, so I switched it to where he's got, instead of just having his hand behind his back, he's holding his plasma pistol back there. And I needed a couple more sergeants for my Krieg, and so we got a couple of just Kriegy Power Fist plasma pistol boys. So yeah, I did a little printing for the Imperial Guard too. I feel like I have to, show some love on them pretty regularly. Paint it how you want. Yeah, rule of cool, baby. Rule of cool. You're starting to slide down my belly again. I'm gonna have to move you here in a little bit. So that is my hobby update. It's what I got for a poke chop this week. And I guess next we will do some GW news. What you guys think about that? Now, admittedly, I've had 3 weeks away from the show. This would be the 4th week right here. So because of a combination of that, and there's just not a lot of GW news going on right now, because right now they're doing other things like boarding actions. They're focusing on kill team boarding actions. They're focusing on other stuff. So the GW news I'm going to be covering is just several things over the past couple weeks that I've been gone. So these might be some slightly older topics. So if it's not interesting to you, I totally understand. But there are some things I just wanted to check out here. And apparently, okay, I guess we'll get to it if I get there. Or we'll look for it if I get there. But I noticed right away that the article that I was looking for on the new jump pack guys for the Scions is not there. Jingle, I am glad that I can touch type. Okay, there we go. And back to articles and art. Boom. All right, so I am pretty hyped for the new jump pack units. I did a YouTube short / TikTok. Are you comfy yet? I did a YouTube short / TikTok about almost a year ago about how a leak had dropped about about the return of an old unit, and it seems that news was kind of off. Okay, the reason I say that is that the leak before had said, and maybe it'll still happen, but I think that news was a misinterpretation of this that we're going to look at. But the Elysian drop troops had jump packs very much like this. And the rumor was that they'd be coming out with the new Imperial Guard Codex. And they would be basically drop troops with jump packs that now the rumor before is that they weren't going to get special weapons other than the hotshot volley. So that does leave room for this to be something else. But I think, like I said, I think it was a misinterpretation of this. So we're getting these cool looking scions with jump packs called the Tempestus Aquilons instead of the Tempest Scions. And they're going to get the big old, 12-inch movement. But they're going to get special weapons. So just like your Scions, they're going to be able to load up on special weapons. They've shown off these guys with plasma gun and melt gun, and I want to say grenade launcher. So you're getting your special weapons like a normal Scion squad, and they're getting the jump profile. So I think this is cool. It's probably is not great news for anybody that was had their heart set on the Elysian drop troops. A lot of people who like the older regiments, I totally understand that there's some love for what came before, but I think this is really cool. And I have 5 boxes of Scions over here from a couple of birthdays and Christmases a while back, and I think this has given me some desire to go back to painting them. Now I have a couple of paint 3D printed test schemes that I've painted for Scions. I'm not sure how I feel about them. I feel like they're growing on me. But there was a very particular Scion artwork that I wanted to try and replicate with bright red fatigues, black armor, and gold trim. And this is what I've done so far, and I'm not sure I like it, to be honest. I don't know, I've kind of been humming and hawing. So this is my second iteration of Scions I've painted up. And I kind of got to a point where, like, I kind of like it, kind of don't. I've been kind of like decision paralysis on them. But now that I've seen the paint guides and stuff like that start to come out for the new kill team with the jump pack Scions, I'm like kind of wanting to change it again. So that's my second iteration. I have a previous iteration that I actually really enjoyed the look of, but then I realized that I had a problem, and the problem is that yes, they look good. They kind of the way I paint everything else though. See, this was my custom color job. Nope, my face is in the way again. Let me just cut out that face. Oop. Okay, now it's just focusing on the hand. I'm really good at this, guys. Anyways, so this is black fatigues and pro acryl blue, it's like McCrag blue for the armor, and then highlighted up with pro acryl blue, and yeah, with gold trim. But the reason why I decided not to stick with that is because it's kind of, I mean, well, I don't know if I decided. I still like this a lot, and I may just continue to do this. But it's very familiar, and I was trying to put my finger on it. And it's because I use black and pro acryl blue for everything. That's why it looks familiar. Like, it is very familiar because this is like a combination of how I paint my Space Wolves and my Ultramarines, So the blue and gold, I use pro acryl blue as my highlight color on my Ultramarines, and of course I paint my Ultramarines with gold, Second Company. And so it looks a lot like my Ultramarines, but then also I paint the armor of my Space Wolves black and do like the special trim and stuff like that with pro acryl blue. It's a Caldor Sky and then highlighted up with pro acryl blue. And so The reason I like this so much is because it's how I paint everything. And I realize it's a little bit of a crutch. But I don't know, is it wrong to have favorite colors you work with? Is it wrong to keep using your favorite colors for everything? I mean, I just feel like, you know, the pre-shading that comes on, like especially Black Templar black, because, you know, like the fatigue, it just settles in the nooks and crannies, you know, and looks good over some dry brush fatigues. And Pro Acryl Blue and gold, it all just looks so good together. I don't know, I might keep it now that I'm looking at it again. I don't know. You guys tell me. Let me know what you think. Am I crazy because I keep painting all, you know, I keep painting stuff in my favorite color combinations? Am I being cheesy? Am I just doing the easy thing? I tried spreading my wings and going with a bit of artwork here, but I don't know. I've just never been red and black guy. Which is weird because my next army is Blood Angels. I say next army, I mean I paid for it like a year and a half ago, but just haven't done anything with it yet because I'm waiting for the new codex. Hellworks does it too. Let me know if you guys have any color crutches, color combinations you find yourself going to, because A, you paint it well, but also B, you just like the way it looks. I think also that's part of it too, is the confidence of painting it well. Like when you nail down a scheme that you do pretty well, you know exactly what colors you want to shade with, highlight with, and you painted tattoos. This is true. This is true. Man, now that I broke them out of the box and looked at it again, I'm like, okay, actually, I kind of want to keep these. Okay, I tried stretching my wings a little bit. Now I'm ready to go back to what I was doing before. All right. So, anyways, so going back to the article, that's kind of what I want to do with these guys. They look super cool, and yeah, I guess I could do the black fatigues and the blue jump jets. So what I want to do is I want to take 3 of those box sets and make command squads out of them. And then, since I've got, you know, files that I'm happy with to use as Scions 3D printing wise, I'll probably use the printed version to make the regular Scions and use the box sets to make my command squads. And then they'll look special, they'll look separate, but together. That's what I'm going to do. And here's how the models look on the table. I was watching their how to paint this, but it looks good here, but watching them paint it on the Warhammer community tutorial, it really looks kind of bright, like red for the straps and green for the fatigues and stuff like that. Kind of bright. But I don't know, when I look at them on the tabletop here, they look good. I just don't think it's me though. But yeah, I'm excited. So if I get together 3 big squads of 15 Scions, well, 3 10-man squads of Scions, but then you put on the command squad, it makes it a 15-man squad. So 3 15-man squads, and then I get me a couple of these jump jet Scions. I could actually do a pretty Scion intense guard list. And then you could take the special forces a step further and throw in some Khazarkin, and you could have pretty much all special forces, which I think would be kind of cool. All special forces, and then maybe some tanks for cover fire. It's hard for me to leave tanks behind. I know some people like doing the all infantry things, but I like black and gray and muted colors. I feel that. It's funny because I like the vibrant blue, but you'll notice a lot of my stuff is also like the main color is black. And I try and get myself to paint more vibrant things. That's why, like, you can tell when I'm stretching, you know, because like my AdMech is like a vibrant purple. My Ultramarines are a very vibrant blue. But then my white scars are, you know, also muted, you know, very black and white color scheme with traces of red. So. All right, next article. Showing off the new Warhammer Plus miniatures. I think this year they all look good. So this is the one I'll be going for with my Warhammer Plus subscription. And I'm excited that they put some new shows on there, because I've kind of binged most of the shows that I wanted to watch on there. And they've put up some more shows recently. Like I want to watch the Custodes one. But yeah, there's some new shows up there and I will be checking it out. So I know not a lot of people are huge, you know, Warhammer Plus fans. I've liked the service, you know, the animations that they put out. I felt like I've, you know, gotten my money's worth with the animations, but also like I like watching the battle reports, and getting the cool miniatures, you know, every year is also kind of an extra neat feature. So this is the 40K one. This time it's an Inquisitor. Really cool looking Inquisitor too. You know, it's got some really cool armor here. It's got a power sword and a badass melta pistol. I've never been a big fan of the banners on the back, but for some reason this Inquisitor banner on the back, I don't know if it's just because it's sleeker or what, but I actually think that looks cool. And then he's got, you know, his servo bot and his servo skull here. And what is this? Let's see. Equipped with custom armor and wielding a power sword and inferno pistol, Ostromandus cuts an imposing stance on the battlefield. He's accompanied by a floating box skull and the mysterious Stentor I-52, a bizarre servitor who can unleash deafening tirades of bombastic oration. Ah, so he is a living sound cannon. That's cool. I kind of like that name, Ostromandus, because from The Watchmen, you know, the hero Ozymandias. I always thought it was a cool name. Which I know is a reference back to a figure in literature. I'll be interested doing Stormcast muted. I can't wait to see your muted Stormcast, my man. I really like the artwork you put up, and I'm looking forward to how that comes out. What's funny is this guy almost looks like also an Inquisitor, but like, you know, the AOS version. Marshal Ashfield and Squire Udo, forged in the military academies of their home cities and further tempered by the fires of battle, Free Guild Marshals are sound tacticians and fierce combatants. They're also accompanied by squires they use to relay orders across the battlefield. Ah, this is a runner. Marshal Ashfield and Squire Udo are battle ready and slightly more ostentatious. They're a battle ready and slightly more ostentatious take on the cities of Sigmar. Free Guild Marshal, armed with a sword and a brace of pistols. Udo is not a fresh young prospect cutting his teeth in battle, but a weary and wizened assistant loaded up with potions, unguents, and other alchemical tinctures. These miniatures are simple to acquire. Sign up for or renew an annual subscription Warhammer Plus on or after the 25th of August, and you'll be eligible to claim your free miniature from the 15th of September. As usual, monthly subscribers will need to wait the full 12 months to claim their miniature. If the decision between the two is too difficult, you can buy the one you didn't choose with your subscription. While I think the AOS one looks interesting, I'm definitely getting this guy. It's funny because, like, the other two peripherals are, you know, I mean, I'm sure I'll need them for, you know, WYSIWYG. but like just looks wise and ready to paint them wise, can't wait for this guy. So yeah. So I know some of the Warhammer Plus figures have been very successful. The what was his name, Sigma 6 or something like that. The Vindicare assassin that was hiding in the statue, that was the first Warhammer Plus figure. That was really cool. There was the Orc War Boss, or not War Boss. Was the bigger than a War Boss in AOS? It's a Mega Boss. Yeah, the Orc Mega Boss was a popular Warhammer Plus figure. The Kazarkin model was also really cool, and the Chaos, the classic Chaos model in Terminator armor. Yeah, the classic Terminator Lord, done in the classic LeBlanc style. That was a popular one, and now I think this Inquisitor here is going to be a really cool Warhammer Plus miniature. So, looking forward to painting him. And since I recently painted Curia Draxus and Inquisitor Kotiaz, this will be my third Inquisitor in my that I'll have in my art or in my collection. So that will be cool. Oh my gosh, it's almost 10 o'clock. I've been running my mouth. That's okay. We're almost done. So, and then the final thing I wanted to show as far as the Warhammer news is, as they have been hinting at for so long, and people have been asking for, they have redone the Sanguinary Guard. However, it's been hit or miss. Some people like the new sculpt. I like the new sculpt, but some people are missing things, and I kind of miss what's missing as well. But let's talk about it. The Blood Angels exist on a scale that slides between two extremes. The frenzied warriors cursed with the red thirst, and the resplendent elites known as the Sanguinary Guard. These golden warriors descend from above to unleash righteous fury on their opponents with the beatific death masks belying their ferocity. I don't like the death masks. I will be replacing the death masks, but that's been something in every army. I just never liked the Blood Angels death masks or the Stormcast death masks. Having a face... Having a mask that is a face on top of your face is weird to me. With a lineage stretching back to the days of the Great Crusade, the Sanguinary Guard are so named due to their origins as personal bodyguards of Sanguinius himself. His attendants were selected from the elite of the elite, and even after they became a more widespread battlefield staple, the tradition of recruiting only the finest martial exemplars continued into the 41st millennium by the decree of Ascalon, who enforced a change to the Codex Astartes, which requires each successor chapter to have its own formation of Sanguinary Guard. As the absolute cream of the crop, the new Sanguinary Guard units come in units of 3 to 6. So that's the first thing people are upset about, is that they have all these squads from before that are 5-man squads, and now they come in squads of 3 to 6. So they could still probably use their 5-man squads, but the fact that they don't just come as a 5-man anymore, you got to pay more, some people are not too thrilled with. But it kind of fits in with what they're doing with the big beat stick melee units like the Blade Guard Veterans and the Inner Circle Task Force. It kind of fits what they're doing with your big beefy big beefy units. So it kind of makes sense. This is like, the Inner Circle is like Blade Guard for Dark Angels, and I imagine this is kind of like Blade Guard for Blood Angels. Though their durability has been improved with an extra wound and a new 4+ invulnerable save to compensate for their smaller unit sizes. Having a better invul save and an extra wound, both of those seem pretty nice. Is it enough to make up for not having as many bodies? We'll have to see. But I think it's, so far looking like a pretty fair trade. And also, as a new player getting into it myself, it's not as much for me to paint up or invest in. Looking at the models before we look at these stats, this right here is the main thing most people are upset about. And I didn't realize it until I went back and looked, but so the Sanguinary Guard are known for having these big, beautiful, chunky wings in plastic mounted to the sides of their jump jets, or their jump jets of their jump packs. But now their big, nice, big, bulky wings have been replaced with the same fins that every other Primaris jetpack gets. But now they have little wings emblazoned on those same fins. Doesn't seem like for like, does it? And I think a lot of people are going to be missing their wings. I, as someone who's never, just now getting into Blood Angels, I feel like that was a huge part of the aesthetic for your Sanguinary Guard. Like, I feel like they really, like, how could they not think that people were going to not miss that? Like, it's something that you think about in, like, when I hear people talk about video game design, when you change a character, it's important to not overly change the silhouette of a character. And a silhouette is what makes a character immediately identifiable. So that way people connect with who that character is supposed to be. It's something that they take into great consideration when they do reskins, when they do updated artwork for characters and stuff like that, especially if they're going from like one game into another, like a sequel. The silhouette of a character can greatly help a player identify that this is the character I know from this previous game. But I feel like by giving them the same Primaris fins as everybody else on their jump jets, but albeit with a little bit of raised texture for the angel wings, I feel like it's not enough. I feel like you're changing the silhouette of the character at this point, and it's going to make it harder for people to connect with that. The idea, that being the idea of the Sanguinary Guard. I feel like it's a missed opportunity, and I feel like, because I've already heard people talking, and I feel like I want to do the same thing. And again, I'm brand new to Blood Angels, but I feel like when most of your community says, screw that, I'm going to go 3D print some wings, or I'm going to order some wings from somewhere, or I'm going to kit bash some wings, I feel like if that many people feel the need to change one big obvious thing about what you did, maybe you didn't do such a good job with the redesign. Now, otherwise, I think this looks great. I love what they've done with the mounted wrist guns. I know a lot of people have axes in their armies, and the fact that they've decided to go with encarmine spears and leave out the axes altogether. I'm sure, if you're playing casually, some people will be like, okay, I'll just use my axes as spears, no big deal. Go for the whole halberd idea, where you can kind of mix spears and axes. But as far as competitively going to tournaments and stuff like that, it does suck for people who have a lot invested in, the axes and stuff like that. I get it. I do like that me going into it, and I can build it however I want. I do think I want to take a bunch of spears, because reading about people with the spears in the 30K novels, in the Sanguinary Guard, that seems kind of cool. Of course, some of them did also have the big swords, like Ascalon. But yeah, pretty excited. But I definitely gotta admit, I feel like they dropped the ball on the wings. Let me know what you guys think, though. Misadventures of Mr. Frisch. Wow. Happy freaking Friday, brother. Good to see you. So, anyways, yeah. So other than that, aside from the death mask, which I don't like on anybody, so that's a me thing, and the fact that I feel like they really dropped the opportunity with the wings on the backpack, aside from those two things, I love the way the new models look. They're beefy, they're chunky. I mean, I feel like every one of these Sanguinary Guard guys got to be ripped like Terry Crews up under this armor. You know what I'm saying? I say Terry Crews because I've been watching a lot of Brooklyn Nine-Nine lately. Good show, funny as hell. Models are crap, just basic jump marines painted gold. I can definitely understand that frustration, for sure. Like, I feel like they've gone out of their way to make them, special. Like, to me, the design of the armor is bigger and chunkier, not so basic. They've definitely done some Blood Angel upping of it. but also like they've really made them nice and thick and imposing. Just the jump packs are just the big letdown for me. I love the spears. Spears look cool. Those wings are derpy, but will look fun on some squigs. Agreed. Hellwork says 3D bits go burr. Yep. There'll definitely be some conversion bits on my. Well, let me tell you. Okay, so conversion bits, yes, but also, what are the names of those new wing guys from the new Stormcast Eternal box set? I want Celestine. Epic level wings on them. Yes. What are those guys with wings called? No, not Retributors. The power of my Google Foo. Evocators? No. Prosecutors. I was looking at the new prosecutor models, and nope, those are the old ones. Those are the old ones. Those are the old ones. They're not prosecutors in that box set. I was just looking this up the other day. Why am I having trouble with this? Ah, here we go. Okay. So maybe not exactly the same. But they got spears. They got the wings. Thinking maybe do a head swap. Put on some bulkier 40K shoulders, for Space Marines. And switch out this arm for an arm that's got, like the wrist-mounted bolter, wrist-mounted melter, whatever. And yeah, maybe these new prosecutors would make a little bit better of a sanguinary guard. Could be. The only thing is that they're very slim profile-wise, unlike the big and nice, bulky new sanguinary guard that they have. All right. Inner Circle Companions. Epic models, faithful to chapter lore, riddled with bling, sanguinary guard. Basic assault marines with Grey Knight weapon sprue. Again, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but I do feel like their armor is bigger and bulkier. Like, this is almost like gravel level. I mean, they look much more imposing, I think, than jump pack intercessors. Like, they look at that chest. That's a Terry Crews chest right there. Right? These guys are beefier for sure, aesthetically. But I agree. It does feel like there's less Blood Angel specific love given to their models than, say, the Inner Circle Companions. I can definitely agree there. So looking at the weapons, the new Encarmine Blade. It gets 4 attacks hitting on 3s, strength 6, which is actually really good considering that Blood Angels, if you take their Liberator detachment, it's going to get +2, so we're going up to Power Fist strength on the charge. -3 AP, 2 damage. So each of these swords are swinging like a Power Fist. Real nice. And then Red-Headed Stepchild love. Yeah, I'm expecting the Red-Headed Stepchild treatment when we get to Wolves soon, unfortunately. 3 attacks hitting on 3s. So the spear gets 1 less attack, but it gets lance. So already we're wounding on 1 earlier. We're getting the strength 6, but again, on the charge, if we're taking Liberator, we'll go up to strength 8, AP 2, damage 2. So, yeah, so getting a strength 8 plus lance, I mean, this thing's going to be good against vehicles too. So I'm definitely thinking I'm going to want quite a few of these guys in my army. The returning Red Thirst attachment rule for the Liberator Assault Group increases the strength and attacks output of these glorious golden gladiators, while the new Angelic Host attachment will provide you with a plethora of rules for all things jump pack related, like the Death from the Sky stratagem, which will enable your Sanguinary Guard to advance or fall back and still charge, improving their already prodigious mobility and putting their Lance rule to work turn after turn. When your charge phase, target 1 Astartes jump pack unit from your army that advanced or fell back this turn. Until the end of the turn, they're eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn which it advanced or fell back. Very nice. So much like White Scars, they can charge in, fall back, shoot, go back in. Very nice. Each new miniature comes with a choice of their iconic Deathmatch style helmets or unhelmeted heads. Can be equipped with an Encarmine blade or spear. I definitely like the spear more so far. There's also a choice to swap one of the Sanguinary Guard's Angelus bolt guns with an Inferno pistol, while another can upgrade their Encarmine spear with a Sanguinary banner, one of the rare pennants usually stored in the Blood Angels vaults on Ball. Yeah, like I think here's a great shot to show how much, I don't know, just beefier. I love, like, you've got the triangle proportions here, you know, showing off all their beefiness there. So yeah, I think they're definitely chunkier, beefier, stronger looking. I just feel like they're missing the wings. Nope, won't do it. I'll play Dark Angels first or Thousand Suns. Now, after Kotias and Blood Angels Blacklash, I'm sure the Space Wolves will be epic. Covered in pelts, wolf skulls, and runes. Hopefully so. Hopefully so. It would be unfortunate. I mean, it would be unfortunate to have to, you know, for Blood Angels to have to make the sacrifice, or, you know, to get the short end of the stick for them to finally realize, you know, that they should have done a more flavorful job here. What race do you play? I play a lot of different factions, but mostly Space Marines and Imperial Guard. I have White Scars, Space Wolves, Ultramarines, and I'm starting Blood Angels. Well, yeah, I've had Blood Angels for a little bit, but I haven't actually gotten them to playable level yet. I have Custodes, I have Orcs, I have Adeptus Mechanicus, and I have still not quite playable. I have Eldar/Dark Eldar. Yep, pretty much everything but Tau. Tower of the Devil. It's funny because we're in a game with actual devils, but play everything but the Tau. Slanesh is next, the bestest. I did always say if I fell to chaos, it'd probably be because of Slanesh. I am a sucker for a pretty face and body and everything else. So those are the articles I wanted to take a look at this week. Oh, the same Blood Angels that we were taking a look at. They announced their new combat patrol. If you were so inclined. Now, where I do feel like, you know, that they have done some nice beefing up of the Sanguinary Guard, you know, so I disagree a little bit with you on the Sanguinary Guard, except for the wings. I definitely feel like they were shafted their wings. The new Death Company, which is literally just Assault Intercessors with the Blood Angels upgrade sprue, I really feel like they dropped the ball. Oh, and Tentacles, yes. Absolutely tentacles. But I really feel like the Death Company is where they really, they dropped the ball on doing Blood Angels Death Company, where the Death Company is just assault intercessors with an upgrade sprue. For sure. And I am fairly sure that's exactly what they're going to do with Primaris Blood Claws. It'll just be assault intercessors, Space Wolf upgrade sprue. And, they'll retire the Firstborn Blood Claws kit. I'm sure that's coming. Call it right now as prediction. Any Space Marine chapter could buy this Combat Patrol, 6 Vanguard Vets, and 10 Intercessors. Yeah, this is pretty it's not a very exciting one. If you wanted to go all in on the new Sanguinary Guard, obviously, getting 6 in one go is pretty nice. But yeah, just the regular Intercessors and the new Blood Angels Captain, which is kind of nice. Actually really like the design on the new Blood Angels Captain. And the fact that he comes with the Infernus pistol you can get. But generic, yes. Yeah, generic is the word I was looking for. Good. Blood Angels were my first way back at 2nd edition, and I've never been the same since. That's cool. It's a lot of people's first, so I'm actually really, because there's just so much history there, I'm excited to delve into Blood Angels. Tycho, yeah. I felt like it was actually, because he did die in the lore, it was a good way to kind of still honor the tradition, especially with his very unique armor. So I think it's nice that they brought back a Primaris captain with his look of armor. So, yep. So this definitely, really, the Space Marine, the Blood Angels Captain and the Sanguinary Guard, that would, if you want those specific miniatures, is the only reason to get this box set. Obviously, Intercessors you can get anywhere. Sanguinary, yeah, this is the new stuff here. So, I know you mentioned that this could be Vanguard veterans. I do think that they're bigger and chunkier. They look almost Gravis sized, more like Inceptors. So I don't know. They're almost like built like flying, aggressors. The Diet Coke of Tychos. Yeah, if you want these guys, and the new captain, which I think looks good painted in all 3 schemes, the gold, the red, obviously the red here. They've done some great panel lining here, so the black really stands out in the red. And the Death Company version, all of them look great. And because I like my captain with the melta pistol, I think I might be picking up a captain like this myself. As you might expect from a combat patrol entirely equipped for those close combat, the Sanguinary Spearhead is packed with rules that let you surge across the battlefield. I guess if that's you're playing the actual combat patrol game. Red Thirst is a close companion of Blood Angels since armies of Days of Warhammer Yore, and it returns here to give your captain and his poor earthbound berserkers some extra pep in their step when bullets start to fly in their way. Better yet, the natural durability of Space Marines. These days, Space Marines get killed pretty quick. It means you won't take too many casualties as you approach. Red Thirst. In your shooting phase, each time an enemy unit has shot, if the bearer's unit was hit by one or more of these attacks, it can make a Red Thirst move. Okay, I'm pretty sure that is... Yeah, that's boarding actions only, I'm sure. Oh no, this is Sanguinary Spearhead here. Okay, so we got a reactive move. If it's hit by one of those attacks, it can make a Red Thirst move. If it does, it can move up to 6 inches. Must finish that move as close as possible to the closest enemy unit. When doing so, these models can be moved within engagement range of that enemy unit. The unit cannot make a Red Thirst move while it's battle shocked or in engagement range of someone else. That is pretty cool. You can reactive move into combat. That would be cool. definitely would make someone kind of think twice about shooting at you if you're too close. Refusal to bend. Select one Astartes unit from your army that was selected as target of one or more of the attacking unit's attacks. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack targets your unit, models in their unit have the Feel No Pain 6 up against that attack. If the model was in 12 inches, or if the attacking model is not within 12 inches, then you have the Feel No Pain 5+. Very nice. Hey there, Ash. I hope you guys had a good time. I was actually just about to jump off. I'm a little over time, but I did want to go back again. And, ooh, that is a really cool. I'm going to show this off real quick. This model Thomas sent me from Grey Tide Studio. Look how pimpin' that is. Okay, that's what I need right there. I was mentioning I need some 3D printed bits to get my jump jets right on my sanguinary guard. So there we go. Thank you, sir. I'm gonna need Grey Tide Studio to shut up and take my money. Hello, Beach Girl. Hope you're doing well. So Ashley, I was just showing everyone. Wanted to say a big thank you to Gamers with Coffee for sending me this ice ferret from the, I keep wanting to say Mech Warrior, from this BattleTech blind box you guys sent me that I think was donated by D. And this ice ferret mech that you guys sent me was the test scheme I used up for my for the paint scheme for my army for that Kickstarter we did from BattleTech. And I decided to do this synthwave style. That is going to be the basis for my whole army. So, thank you guys again. Funkin' Hungry, Wolf Brother Mythos, G the Hypersapien, what's up? Oh my gosh, got some real legends coming in here. Maybe I should stay on for a few more minutes. Gee, my man, my brother, how have you been? How has the best food reviewer in all of Australia been tonight? You know, they suck as models when the 3D community is flooded with upgrades before the models are even available for purchase. That's true. It's true. And gee, the Hypersapien had to pop on and share the love. Absolutely, and sharing the love right back, guys. If you love either gaming content, especially orc focus, check out G the Hypersapien in the link tree below, Friends of the Frost and Fists. And if you like good food reviews, check out his food channel, Funkin' Hungry, also in the list down below. You'll need to come up with unit lore for your BattleTech regiment. Yeah, I've been trying to spam because I've got one of those playlists that are just like hours of BattleTech lore, and of course I need to do some actual reading. But yeah, once I digest some of that lore, I'll start coming up with some lore for my synthwave army. Grey Tide has my money several times already. Yeah, I know. I think you went on their Space Wolf stuff and their Space Wolf stuff and their Ultramarine stuff before, right? We got some more cool stuff here. Ooh, the Crimson Lords. Very cool. Oop, going in the wrong direction. 300 plus bits. Oh, that's a cool looking chainsword. Really well sculpted face too. I like that. Cool Death Company style stuff. Okay, that was the end of it. Ugh. Okay. I mentioned before how I don't like death masks. I am really not a fan of the melted face pauldron there, whatever that is. That is crazy. I can't unsee that now. How do I unsee it? From the synth disco to the simulators, the XXXX has made waves in the current war. Yes. We got 3 new coffees on the site. Very nice. Oh, that must be why you guys had the coffee pack in your video with Greg's vow of what he was painting right there on the table with the stuff. I noticed the coffee bag there. Yeah, we'll have to check out Sunday's show. Guys, if you want to check out Sunday's show, Gamers with Coffee, also another show, friend of the show. Love those guys. They're also in the link down below. Check them out. They do a show every Sunday around 4 U.S. Central Time. But yeah, check out their live show. They will be revealing their new coffees. I am actually having to, I need to go back and put most of my coffee subscriptions on pause. I was telling everybody at the beginning of the show that I've got a lot of new dietary restrictions, and they want me to cut back to just 1 cup of coffee a day. But I was at 5 to 6 cups of coffee a day, and so there's no way I'm cutting back to 1 cup of coffee. But I am cutting back to 2 cups of coffee a day, which is huge for me. So I'm going to have to, yeah, I'm definitely going to have to put most of my coffee subscriptions on pause right now. Hey, Mini Forma, good to see you, my brother. I drink more coffee. Good, good. I'm glad if I can't have as much coffee, someone's picking up the slack, G. So, thank you. You guys can see I've been pulling up reference photos of Rex for painting my Shatterpoint miniature. Drink a lot. No, it's not no more coffee. They just want me to cut back to 1 cup instead of the usual 5 or 6 that I've been drinking. So they want me to cut back to 1 cup. I'm cutting back to 2 cups. It's a compromise. I was at 6. They want 1. We'll meet at 2. Although I wonder if mushroom coffee counts. That's a lot of pee trips. That's true. That's true. If I could have the coffee in an IV though, then I absolutely would. No, it doesn't count. See, that's, and I'm gonna have to try your teas as well. So that's what I'm banking on. So I had my regular 2 cups of coffee earlier today, but then also Rise is pretty good. That's cool. I'll have to check them out sometime. My mushroom coffee has been everyday dose, which has been, I've really enjoyed it. So I had 2 cups of regular coffee earlier today for the usual morning focus, but then I knew I needed some focus for before the show, so I had made myself a cup of mushroom coffee in the evening. Greg drinks that too. Cool. Which one does Greg drink, Ashley? The Rise or the Everyday Dose? If it's kidneys, mushroom coffee counts too. Ah, close. For me, it's pancreas, so it's probably the same. Also, what's the way to pronounce that? Is it Francois? Okay, I'll be listening in. I have this paint challenge thingy to do. Yes, actually, so I mentioned about upcoming projects earlier, and I was talking about I've got a few Imperial Guard models here, and I've got my Star Wars Shatterpoint stuff I was going to do for Knights of the Old Republic. Stupid question, but does it taste like mushrooms? No. This mushroom coffee tastes just like black coffee. Yes, Francois. Okay, nice to meet you, Francois. Um, but yes, what I was mentioning, upcoming plans. If it's not too late, Mini Warmut, I have been behind on things, but this weekend I intend to film and put out my vow or part in the Mini Warmuts challenge for painting challenge this month, and I plan on. I have 4 times 3. I've got 12 miniatures of BattleTech box miniatures in this current Kickstarter, and plus I've got another 4 coming tomorrow because I wanted the Phoenix Hawk. Still September, so not too late. Okay, cool. So I've got 16 miniatures that I'm going to be vowing for BattleTech, and then I've got a couple of other like Star Wars miniatures here that I'm going to vow. So I've probably got 20 models that I'm sure I'm going to vow, and I might throw some more in. So BattleTech, I haven't played since I was a teenager, around 16. So this is my first kind of foray back into BattleTech. I have no idea if I'll even like the game anymore, but I know I had a good time with it as a teenager, which wasn't too long ago, of course. But yeah, since I'm no longer a teenager, back when I had hair. Unfortunately, I got to look to see. I'm pretty sure I have a picture of this unpainted. I got impatient though with my BattleTech minis because I wanted to do a test scheme, and I was spamming some Heresy for Heretics trying to get inspiration from his synthwave style. And I say spamming Heresy for Heretics like I wasn't sending him spam messages. I was just watching his videos a lot, trying to get inspiration. And so I went ahead and broke one out of the package and painted it up. But I didn't start painting it till after the beginning of the month. So, hope you'll take my word on the honor system. Do Alpha Strike. That is my intention. Yeah. I want the shorter game format. Disney Prophet Star Wars. I've controversy aside, I know a lot of people don't like the Disney era of Star Wars. Just looking at Star Wars, Shatterpoint is a brilliant game. I have so much fun every time we play it. I love the mechanics of the game. I love that there are built-in comeback mechanics, so it never feels just one-sided. I think it's brilliantly done, and it is probably like the best skirmish game I've ever played. It definitely I like Kill Team when I used to play it. For me, this feels even better than Kill Team. So it is the best skirmish game I've ever played. So again, controversy aside, I like the current era of Star Wars, but I understand why people don't. For me, The Mandalorian is the best bit of Star Wars media that's ever come out, other than the Knights of the Old Republic games, is my opinion. Have you tried Infinity? I have not. I don't have anyone in the area to play with, but I love Infinity models. I've painted up a few of them, like this one right here. And even though I don't have anyone in the area to play with, just because I like their models, I've bought some of their metal miniatures and painted them up before. They're just cool miniatures. Head off, bro. Much love. Have to hang out soon. Absolutely, my brother. Baby Yoda, Baby Yoda, Baby Yoda. Absolutely. I love Baby Yoda. I am so looking forward to The Mandalorian and or Grogu and The Mandalorian. I think it's the name of the movie coming out. But, yeah, I know Baby Yoda's name is Grogu, but he's still, no matter what he does, he's been forever memed into forever being Baby Yoda. Have a great night, brothers. Thank you so much for coming by. But yeah, I'm excited for all of these things. My Shatterpoint, my first army of Shatterpoint is almost done. Like I said, I've got, so Shatterpoint is usually played in 2 squads. I've got. Have a great night, Beach Girls. Thank you so much for stopping by, and it was great having you in the chat. See you next time. But yeah, so Star Wars is usually, or Shatterpoint's usually played in 2 squads. I've got Ahsoka and Bo-Katan with Clan Kree's Mandalorians. That's 1 squad. I've got that finished. The other squad, I've got Anakin done. I've got Rex, I don't know, a good 70% done here. And then once I paint up his 2 soldiers as backup, they're just, I only have the black and the white done now, so they look a bit like stormtroopers. But once I get them painted up, that'll be 2 squads ready to go, and so the 1 full army to play with, and then I'll start on my Knights of the Old Republic team. I've got 3 models for that so far. I've got a Twi'lek for Mission Bow. I've got Bastila, you know, major character, right on the box art. And I've got Revan, which I will be doing the light side version of Revan. So. All right, you guys, we're heading out. Actually, I'm heading out too. I was actually just wrapping up. So those are my plans for the future. Like I said, keep an eye out this weekend. I'll be putting up my mini warm-up challenge video. And I am looking forward to Gamers with Coffee's Sunday show. So check them out. Sunday, 4 p.m. U.S. Central Time. Thank you guys so much for joining tonight and spending some time with me, guys. It was so good to get back to chatting with this amazing hobby community after having had 3 weeks away. And, you know, a medical emergency that kept me away from the show. So I'm so glad to finally be back and hanging out with the best community on the planet, the hobby community. If you guys liked tonight's episode, please make sure that you grab up an ox and smash that like button in the name of the Emperor. Drop us some comments down below and let us know what you thought with any of our ridiculous conversations. And if you guys are not yet subscribed to the channel, then I would definitely love to have you as part of the pack, part of the hobby family here on Frosted Fists. So subscribe. Till next time, guys, stay frosty.